Hello everyone, and welcome to my The Bold Fans channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. B&B spoilers. Thomas Forrester's romantic interest? On The Bold and the Beautiful, Thomas Forrester is unmarried and eager to socialize. The only issue is that there isn't a single unrelated person on the market. The dating pool at Forrester Creations is currently quite small. Will Thomas notice someone? Thomas needs a girlfriend. We all imagined that Thomas was pursuing Hope Logan once more when he returned to Hope for the future. The designer may be telling the truth when he said he was over her. Thomas will require a new romance on the soap opera if he is truly over his ex. Spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful indicate that Thomas will soon become interested in someone at Forrester Creations. Daphne Rose, the fiancée of Carter Walton, is the only person Thomas Forrester is unrelated to outside Hope. We don't know much about Daphne Rose, and her past is a mystery on the soap opera. However, we do know that she was prepared to end Carter's romance with Hope Logan in order to get paid. After his years at FC, Carter Walton is undoubtedly a catch and has impressive finances. But will Thomas Forrester seem like a larger catch to Daphne? Carter Thomas and Daphne previously had a falling out over Hope Logan. Is Daphne loyal to Carter? Out of resentment, the Forrester prince might show interest in Carter's future spouse. Carter is currently in a hurry to get anyone to the altar as the joyful pair plans their wedding. However, if Thomas finds himself in Daphne's orbit, that may all change. Do you believe Daphne would choose Thomas over Carter? Who could Thomas hook up with on B&B if not Daphne or Hope? Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Did Electra Forrester just lose her partner to a homeless art instructor? On The Bold and the Beautiful, Electra Forrester's self-assurance is impressive. She never considered the possibility that it might not be a good idea to move another lady into her man's home. Electra believed that Will Spencer Jr. only cheats when he is inebriated. But is Will genuinely developing feelings for Dylan? Dylan has her eye on Will, although Electra didn't seem as Dylan as a rival. Spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful indicate that the homeless art teacher is going to challenge her. It's obvious that Will Spencer has a superhero mentality and can't refuse a damsel in distress. In fact, this is how he initially fell in love with Electra. Someone who has been traumatized by Luna and is sleeping in their car is too strong for the self-assured and attractive Forrester. Electra Forrester was forced to work late this week on The Bold and the Beautiful. Dylan played house with Will Spencer while Electra was away, sneaking out of her apartment over the garage. After their adorable dinner, Dylan stared at her landlord, who was sound sleeping on the couch. Electra's jealousy problems. Dylan and Will undoubtedly had chemistry, and were those faint sparks flying over their chicken teriyaki? This was evident to soap opera watchers. According to spoilers, Electra Forrester will become aware that her relationship is being threatened next week. Electra will appear to be a neurotic, envious girlfriend, while Dylan will pretend to be innocent. Will her charges only cause her boyfriend and Dylan to become closer? Any woman will tell you that's the fastest way to lose a man. Do you believe Electra was too sure that Dylan wouldn't pose a threat? Is it possible that Will is genuinely infatuated with her? B&B spoilers for Monday, January 26th. 2 forbidden kisses, a trip twist, and Ivy listening in. There are spoilers for Monday, January 26th, 2026 on The Bold and the Beautiful. Fans should anticipate a surprise during the journey to San Francisco from Steffy Forrester Finnegan. There are 2 immoral kisses in the meantime. Ivy Forrester also discovers something frightening. Happiness of Brooke Logan Forrester. It appears that Brooke Logan Forrester has been obsessed with the trademark issue lately. The severity of the decline in her friendship with Katie Logan Spencer has also troubled Brooke. But when Brooke encounters her son, she will experience some joy. RJ Forrester is told by the blonde that it seems as though he has never been gone. But I question whether RJ is really the same. Fans of Steffy Forrester Finnegan's twist are already aware that Electra was scheduled to travel to San Francisco for business. Dylan was mentioned by the girl. Dylan was instructed by Electra to remain in her room during her absence. Dylan concurred, but Steffy somewhat alters Electra's intentions. Steffy will accompany Electra instead of Ivy. It appears that Electra is excited to spend time with Steffy. According to previews for the upcoming episode of Taylor Hayes' Kiss the Bold and the Beautiful, Deacon Sharp is receiving contradictory counsel. Hope Logan Spencer believes Deacon needs to see what he can accomplish with Taylor Hayes. Everyone else, though, is concerned about Sheila Carter Sharp's response. Deacon appears to be going to plant a passionate kiss on Taylor. Dylan's sinful smooch. She pledged to honor Elektra's bond with Dylan. But as soon as Elektra leaves, Dylan almost kisses Will Spencer. Ivy Forrester's startling finding, but Ivy is staring out the window of the beach house. Ivy glances away as she witnesses Will and Dylan getting closer to sharing a kiss. What she doesn't see, though, might be more significant than what she sees. What would happen if Will or Dylan suddenly changed their minds? Ivy might give Elektra some false information that could exacerbate the situation. It appears that Elektra may be overreacting at the same time that some people don't trust Dylan. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Will and Dylan, or Elektra and RJ, will be the first to betray. Fans of The Bold and the Beautiful are now curiously wondering who would be the first to betray their partner as a result of spoilers and updates. Will Spencer and Dylan, or Elektra Forrester and RJ Forrester? This intriguing plot could take many different turns, especially in light of the intricate love quadrangle that BNB is deftly creating. When Will learned that Dylan was living out of her car and kindly offered her a place to stay, the drama began. She will have more chances to spend time with Will and strengthen their bond now that Dylan appears to be getting ready to land a job at Forrester Creations. Even while Dylan tries to show that she poses no threat to Will and Elektra's relationship, the latter will unavoidably struggle with her own uncertainties and misgivings. Elektra might find solace in the arms of another man, more especially RJ, as a result of her emotions of uncertainty. RJ's lighthearted comment about protecting Elektra's heart as he removed her necklace was a highlight of the spark that Elektra and RJ shared during their first moment together. It's obvious that RJ and Elektra are meant to be together, but will that happen before or after Will breaks up with her? The romantic scenario may become more complicated as Elektra becomes increasingly worried about Dylan's ability to win Will over. Even if Will is entirely innocent, it is easy to see Elektra catching a glimpse of something that deceives her. When Elektra gets envious, she can go away without asking questions and seek comfort from RJ, which could result in a kiss or even a night spent together. This can result in regrets, or it might just be outright dishonesty. If Elektra later learns that her presumptions about Will and Dylan were incorrect, this could lead to remorse. However, there's always a chance of outright adultery. Given the Spencer men's propensity for indecision, Will could succumb to temptation with Dylan. The same is true for Elektra, who is obviously drawn to RJ. Since RJ is probably going to pursue Elektra and try to win her over from Will, the attraction might eventually become too strong. This love quadrangle wouldn't be exciting without a few betrayals, no matter how it plays out. Keep an eye out for any impending drama because the only question is who will be the first to cheat and advance this plot into its next phase. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for the next 2 weeks. Betrayal errors, outrageous findings, and secrets waiting to be revealed. Spoilers for the upcoming 2 weeks of The Bold and the Beautiful, from January 26th to February 6th, indicate that there will be some major mistakes, outrageous discoveries, and secrets that are just waiting to be revealed. Carter Walton and Daphne Rose will talk about their impending nuptials and share some intimate moments during the week of January 26th to 30th. Sheila Sharp, meantime, will make Deacon Sharp uneasy by pretending that Taylor Hayes gave them a wonderful present when she reunited them. In actuality, Deacon's thoughts of Taylor and the lips he truly wants to kiss won't go away. It appears that Taylor and Deacon might soon leave the realm of imagination with a genuine lip lock. According to BNB teasers, Brooke Logan Forrester will continue to be ecstatic about RJ Forrester's return to Los Angeles. Brooke will be ecstatic with RJ's return when he goes for a swim, and might wonder what he has planned now that he's staying. There will be some surprises at the beach house once Steffi Forrester Finnegan replaces Ivy Forrester during a vacation to San Francisco with Elektra Forrester. Before spending time with Will alone, Dylan will watch him work out. Dylan obviously won't listen to Elektra's warnings to follow the rules and refrain from going too far. As Ivy glances out the window, it appears that Dylan might fall while dancing and land in Will's lap. Ivy will be devastated because she believes Dylan is pursuing Will. And if they kiss, she may be correct. During their journey to San Francisco, Elektra and Steffi will also have a jewelry presentation, so keep an eye out for Morgan Fairchild as Dottie and Jim J. Bullock as Joseph, her assistant. Elektra will return home for some startling updates over the week of February 2nd to 6th. Ivy might tell Elektra what she saw at the beach house and make her furious. Will Electra give Dylan an urgent order to leave Will's property? If Wood crosses too many lines with Dylan, would Electra think about ending their relationship? He might encounter additional near misses with Eric Forrester, as he tries to conceal his Logan lead designer from the Forrester family. How long will Brooke and Rich Forrester remain in the dark while Eric gets to work and hopes to significantly impact Logan's launch? Steffi's worry might materialize since Deacon and Taylor are still bonding in spite of her attempts to break them up. The developing romance between Taylor and Deacon may finally provide Sheila with some hints that will take her to the truth. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Sheila's wrath will eventually surface, so continue watching the CBS serial opera. The psychological truth is that Taylor is no longer objective, even if she still thinks she is acting rationally. She thinks she's making a difference. She thinks she's strong enough to deal with it. However, her emotional attraction to Deacon severely compromises her personal hope for a romantic future. Fear of Sheila's actions. Steffi's influence. Unresolved trauma involving Ridge. The desire to feel selected. The desire to feel superior to others ethically. She is no longer a psychiatrist. Emotional self-justification is what she's doing. And that's precisely how experts unknowingly undermine their own reputation. This is one of the few occasions when The Bold and the Beautiful fanbase is nearly unanimous. Fans are calling it out and they're not wrong. Commentary on social media has been harsh. Not only critical, brutal. Because viewers are now responding logically rather than emotionally. They recognize the pattern. They recognize the hypocrisy. The tampering is visible to them. And they witness Taylor doing precisely what she has done for decades, using her career as a justification for her personal actions. The most damning fan perspective. Taylor has never been professional, says one fan comment that goes deeper than the others. The unsettling reality is that she was Ridge's therapist from the moment Caroline passed away. Taylor has a lengthy and well-documented history of mistreating those with whom she has emotional ties, integrating herself into family structures, being intimately involved with patients, employing emotional leverage through therapy, blending one's personal and professional identities. This behavior is not new. Sheila's involvement merely makes it riskier. Why Sheila makes this situation explosive? Taylor's actions would already be inappropriate in any other plot. However, Sheila Carter turns it into a psychological disaster. Sheila's emotional instability is the reason. Extremely sensitive to rejection. Quite suspicious. Prone to compulsive attachment. Able to act violently. In response to being humiliated. Betrayal is the trigger. Taylor is aware of this. Thus, Taylor's actions are not merely immoral. She is behaving carelessly. She is entering a volatile person's emotional ecosystem, while harboring a secret desire for that person's spouse. That goes beyond being immoral. In a clinical sense, something is risky. The hypocrisy. Taylor is acting exactly as she warns others about. Taylor lectures people about limits all the time. She gives Sheila a lecture. She gives Deacon a lecture. She gives Steffi a lecture. Hope is lectured by her. Ridge is lectured by her. Everyone is lectured by her. However, her own actions, she is envisioning her patient, emotionally attached to her patient, talking to his wife about her patient, influencing the wife's feelings, preserving authority in the workplace, while following one's own desires. Setting boundaries is not what this is. It's boundary theater. She appears morally upright. She seems morally upright. She speaks with professionalism. However, she acts quite differently on the inside. The true risk. Sheila is being emotionally manipulated. Sheila is being steered rather than helped. And directed in what direction? In the direction of acceptance. Toward confidence. In the direction of vulnerability. Toward being emotionally reliant on Taylor. In the direction of feeling secure. Toward thinking of Taylor as an ally. This implies that Sheila won't simply feel deceived when the truth is revealed. She'll feel deceived. Additionally, Sheila Carter does not process that emotional realization through melancholy. Retaliation is used to process it. Why this would lead to a formal ethics investigation in actual psychiatry, a colleague would report Taylor as soon as any of this was detected. Or through Sheila. Or through Deacon. Or by a manager of the hospital. Or by a board for licensure. Or by an attorney. Additionally, A review of patient records would be part of the investigation. Review of the notes from the session. Examination of private correspondence. Examine the timeline of the connection. Conflicts of interest review. Dual relationships are reviewed. Additionally, it is highly likely that Taylor would be convicted of gross professional misconduct. What losing her license would mean narratively: Taylor would be suspended from practice if Bold and the Beautiful actually implemented reasonable penalties. Forfeit her ability to care for patients. Be prohibited from working in clinical settings. Lose her identity as a professional. Give up her moral authority. Lose her influence in society. Lose the part that makes her who she is. Which would compel Taylor to become a woman, something she has never been. Not a physician. Not a specialist. Not a therapist. Not a fixer. Not a moral arbiter. Just a woman navigating her own personal mess. And that would be the most drastic change her character has ever experienced. The psychological irony. Taylor is becoming what she treats. Taylor's entire career is based on her ability to assist others in controlling their emotions. Steer clear of harmful bonds. Set limits. Handle trauma. Steer clear of damaging connections. She is now, however, emotionally dysregulated. Unhealthy attachment. Transgressing limits. Repeating previous trends. Entering a toxic partnership. She is actually embodying the case study that she ought to be citing. Why fans don't care about what will happen next. This is the most significant change in audience response. Taylor is no longer a concern for fans. They no longer want her to be safe. They have lost interest in her innocence. Whatever Sheila does to her, she brought it on herself, as many publicly state. This is a huge narrative failure for a legacy heroine, because it indicates that Taylor has been emotionally classed as an initiator rather than a victim by the audience. The most dangerous possibility. Sheila reports Taylor. This is the twist that hasn't been discussed yet. Violence is not the most likely result. Legal retaliation is what it is. Sheila could make a formal grievance, inform the medical board about Taylor, accuse her of being a professional manipulator, accuse her of meddling with your emotions, make a conflict of interest accusation against her, call her out for gaslighting, accuse her of acting unethically. Sheila would also be correct. Thus, Sheila wouldn't require a firearm. A kidnapping would not be necessary. A confrontation would not be necessary for her. With papers, she might ruin Taylor's whole life. What would harm Taylor more than anything? So why would that be the ultimate form of retribution? Not bodily injury. Not a scandal in public. Not disgrace. But without the one identity she conceals, I'm a doctor. What would happen? She becomes weaker. Her power. Her part in the story. Her sense of superiority. Her ethical stance. She loses her professional shield and turns into simply another imperfect character. And it would be Sheila who stole it from her. Legally. Tidy. Irreversibly. Ultimately, this is not a romantic triangle. Rather, it is a story about collapse more than love. It is an implosion in the workplace. It concerns a therapist who believes she is above the law, an emotionally susceptible patient, a mentally disturbed spouse, a frightened family, a lady who believes she can manage mayhem, and anarchy always prevails. Taylor Hayes is not on the path to contentment. She is on the verge of being discovered. Sheila won't appear to be the monster when that exposure occurs. It will be Taylor, the certified professional who believed she could be a lover, therapist, and moral arbiter all at once. She might ultimately lose her credibility, which is the only thing she has ever really had. Logan's appearance provides the ideal storyline for Sally's comeback. It breaks the long-standing monopoly of Forrester Creations and necessitates the use of a wild card. Los Angeles is large enough to accommodate a top designer or another fashion house. When Sally worked in fashion, she was at her finest. She was a great fit for the impending conflict between the Logans and the Forresters. Working with Katie and Eric would allow her to re-establish herself as the ultimate fashion icon. Rather than contributing to Billy's identity dilemma in Genoa City, Sally may go back to Los Angeles and provide the much-needed unorthodox and edgy approach to fashion. To restore Spectra fashions, she might even look to the conflict between Logan and Forrester for inspiration. Sally Spectra needs to regain her fashion status. It's difficult to watch Sally sacrifice her goals and aspirations for other men on Y&R. She was characterized by Nick and Adam's occupations and aspirations when they were together. Her relationship with Billy is experiencing the same thing. The inflexible corporate structures of Chancellor and Newman have put a stop to her career. With Billy at her side, Sally thought she would revive Abbott Communications. But when he decided to regain Chancellor, he caught her off guard. Sally may abandon Billy in Genoa City as she takes advantage of the three-way fashion war between the Spencers, Logans, and Forresters, as Billy continues to disintegrate under the weight of his family's legacy.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.